Admiral Sarah Voss stood on the bridge of the Retribution, watching through the viewport as the burning remains of a HFY battlecruiser tumbled through the void. The alien vessel's bioluminescent hull flickered erratically before finally going dark, joining the debris field that had once been their entire scout fleet. "That's the last of them, Admiral," reported Commander Torres from the tactical station. "No survivors detected." "Good." Sarah's voice carried no satisfaction, only cold calculation. "Deploy salvage drones. I want their navigation data and communication logs stripped before we move to the next target." 3 years had passed since the hegemony, a coalition of 7 alien species, had discovered humanity's first colony ships emerging from Sol system. The aliens had deemed humans a contamination risk and responded with overwhelming force. In 6 hours, they had obliterated Earth's colonial fleet, 3 million souls vaporized in the vacuum of space. What the hegemony hadn't known was that those ships carried only a fraction of humanity's true military capability. Sarah's fingers traced the scar that ran from her left temple to her jaw, a souvenir from the destruction of the colony ship New Horizon. She had been a junior officer then, one of only 43 survivors pulled from the wreckage by a passing supply vessel. Now she commanded the largest human battle fleet ever assembled. "Ma'am, we're receiving a transmission from the Nemesis," announced Lieutenant Park from Communications. "Admiral Chen reports successful completion of Operation Cleansing Fire. The Zephyrian trade station at Kepler 442 has been neutralized. Casualties? None on our side. The Zephyrians surrendered after we demonstrated the plasma lance capabilities on their outer platforms." Sarah nodded. The Zephyrians were merchants, not warriors. Their participation in the hegemony was purely economic. They supplied the weapons technology that had made the massacre possible. But complicity was guilt enough. "Signal Admiral Chen to proceed to Phase 2. I want every Zephyrian industrial facility within 30 light-years mapped and marked for termination." The bridge crew worked with mechanical precision, their movements efficient and emotionless. These weren't the explorers and diplomats who had crewed humanity's first interstellar vessels. These were soldiers forged in the fire of genocide, shaped by 3 years of calculated vengeance. "Admiral," called out Dr. Elizabeth Kane from the science station, "I'm detecting unusual quantum signatures from the HFY wreckage. Their ships appear to be constructed using technology we haven't encountered before." Sarah moved to examine the readings. The HFY were the hegemony's military enforcers, their vessels grown rather than built, living ships that could adapt and evolve during combat. They had been humanity's primary target for the past 18 months. "It's not HFY technology," Dr. Kane continued. "The quantum resonance patterns suggest artificial enhancement. Someone else designed these improvements." "The architects," Sarah whispered, recognizing the implications immediately. The architects were the hegemony's mysterious 8th member, a species so advanced that they rarely involved themselves directly in galactic affairs. Intelligence suggested they had provided the technological advantage that made the human massacre so swift and complete. "Set course for the Veil Nebula," Sarah ordered. "It's time we paid the puppet masters a visit." The Retribution and her escort fleet engaged their quantum drives, folding space around themselves in a manner that would have been impossible with pre-war human technology. But humanity had learned much from salvaging alien wrecks, reverse engineering weapons, and propulsion systems with ruthless efficiency. As they traveled through folded space-time, Sarah reviewed the intelligence reports her agents had gathered over 3 years of systematic hunting. The hegemony had initially celebrated their victory over the human infestation, but celebration had turned to concern as human fleets began appearing throughout their territory. Humanity's response had not been the desperate, scattered resistance the aliens expected. It was methodical extermination. The Threx mining colonies eliminated. The Vorthan research installations vaporized. The HFY breeding worlds sterilized. Each victory had been carefully planned, precisely executed, and strategically positioned to create maximum psychological impact on the remaining hegemony forces. "Admiral, we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command," Lieutenant Park announced. Sarah's expression softened slightly. Earth Command was humanity's new political center, established in the asteroid belt after the homeworld had been declared too vulnerable for military headquarters. "Put it through." General Marcus Webb's weathered face appeared on the main screen, his uniform bearing the insignia of the Terran Strategic Command. "Sarah, we've intercepted hegemony communications. They're requesting a ceasefire. After 3 years of hunting them across the galaxy, now they want to talk? They're calling it a diplomatic resolution to the human conflict. They want to meet at neutral territory in the Centauri DMZ." Sarah studied the tactical display showing the positions of her hunting fleets. 12 battle groups, each commanded by survivors of the original massacre, systematically dismantling the infrastructure of 7 alien civilizations. "What are our casualty projections for total victory?" she asked. "At current rates, complete elimination of hegemony military capacity within 18 months. Civilian casualties would be—" Webb paused. "Extensive." Sarah understood the implication. Her fleets weren't just targeting military installations anymore. Supply routes, trade stations, manufacturing centers, anything that supported the hegemony war machine had become legitimate targets. The line between military and civilian infrastructure had blurred months ago. "They made their choice when they murdered 3 million humans in cold blood," Sarah said finally. "We're not stopping until every species that participated in the massacre pays the full price." "Sarah, we've won. The threat is neutralized. Continuing this campaign turns us into the very thing we're fighting against." "No, Marcus. It makes us survivors." She cut the transmission before he could respond. The bridge crew continued their duties without comment, but Sarah could feel their attention focused on her decision. These men and women had lost families, friends, entire communities in the initial attack. They understood vengeance in ways that Earth Command, safe in their asteroid bases, never could. "Ma'am," Dr. Kane called out, "we're approaching the Veil Nebula. Sensor scans are detecting massive artificial structures hidden within the gas clouds." Sarah moved to the tactical display, watching as her sensors penetrated the nebula's interference. What they revealed challenged her understanding of engineering physics. A network of interconnected stations spanning light years, each structure the size of a small moon. "The architect homeworld," she breathed. "Or what passes for one?" "Admiral, we're being scanned," reported Commander Torres. "Multiple unknown contacts emerging from the nebula. Configuration suggests vessels far more advanced than anything we've encountered." Sarah smiled grimly. Finally, they would face the true architects of humanity's near extinction. After 3 years of hunting the pawns, she could confront the players who had orchestrated the game. "All ships, battle stations. Today, we finish what they started." The Retribution and her escorts accelerated into the nebula, their weapons charging for what would either be humanity's greatest victory or their final battle. Behind them, across dozens of star systems, the other hunting fleets continued their methodical work of dismantling an alien empire. The hegemony had taught humanity a harsh lesson about survival in a hostile galaxy. Now it was time for the teachers to learn what they had truly unleashed.